Yeah.
Rinpoche.
Hello, I'm great. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Morning. Voice is okay?
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, can you make your voice a little bit louder, Rinpoche?
Yeah, sure. Is it better now or
Yeah, it's
is it
better.
it's
Yeah.
better? Okay. Okay.
Rinpoche, we would like to make a mandala offering.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's do the mandala offering.
Chúng ta cúng dường Mandala trước ạ.
So, Go to the refuge. Refuge.
Quy ạ, chúng ta mở cái phần quy ra.
Zong ye, je da za ye, je nam la, zhang zhu bar do da nian jie zong je. Da ye, je ye be se nam ye, zha la bian ji re sa, zhu ba lai shu e song ye, je da za ye, je nam la. zhang zhu bar do da nian jie zong je, da ye, ye be se nam ye. zha la bian ji re san ye, zhu ba lai shu. 上也真，这也这南来上就巴多那年也做起，那也去些一百三南也这拉偏些三也就巴来说，哦耶，yeah. So if you have the book in English, the page number is 228, and the name of the title of the chapter is called Considering Others More Important Than Oneself. So
Yeah.
this is what we are going to, this is the threefold part of training on cultivating bodhicitta. Oh yeah. So if you remember, we started with seeing oneself and others as equal. We also that was the first part of the training, seeing yourself and the others as equal. And then the next was the taking the pain and suffering, or basically it's called exchanging. Take the pain of others and give the joy to others, right? Take their pain to oneself and give your joy to them. That is the exchange. So we have the the first two, the equal and the exchange, and now the more important, right? Others as more important. This is the third step of the training on cultivating bodhicitta. Oh yeah. So I will. Yeah. So the first line says, "I may be in samsara. I may be reborn in hell. I may be ill, feverish, or suffering from any other misfortune, but I will bear it all. May the suffering of all others ripen in me. May other beings have all my happiness and all the effects of my good actions." Uh, so here, if you look at if you look at this contemplation, what you're thinking is, I'm in samsara, I'm born in hell, I'm in this and that, much pain, but that pain that I'm going through, may it bring the pain of all the other sentient beings into me, and that the pain of other beings disappear from this. So it's such a powerful prayer, such a powerful aspiration. So if you think of it from a very normal or very ordinary point of view, from a personal point of view, it's very senseless. And I'm already in pain, right? I need to do something about my pain. Why should I bring all the other people's pain into me? Why should I make my pain worse than whatever it already is? Mm. Yeah, why should I make my pain more worse than what it was by taking? I'm already in much pain, so when I take the pain of other people's, my pain will be much worse off. Why should I go through something worse? A very logical thing to think in today's world, in our day-to-day life, isn't it? And it's true. And it's true in this regard. From a very conventional point of view, the our current position, our current attitude, or the outlook on the world, depending on our current outlook on the world, that is very much true. But then, conversely, when you think of it from the Buddha's point of view, or from the Dharma teaching point of view, then you will find out that the pain that you're going through, there is no way out of it, anyways. Whatever, let's say, if you're going through some very painful state, that pain is already there. It already come. That means that pain, you cannot um, you cannot make that pain go away. You have to suffer, go through that pain, and after some time, after treatment, this and that, the pain will go away. But other than that, the pain will not just disappear by thinking about it. Uh, but on the other side, by reflecting on the pain of all the other sentient beings, you make your own pain seem much more, mm, make it seem small. Mm.
Yeah.
By you already have your pain,
Yeah.
right? You already have your pain, and then when you focus on your own pain, uh, then you are becoming very narrow-minded, right?
Yeah.
When you focus, when you are not neglecting your pain. You know you are in pain. You are accepting the fact. You are acknowledging the fact that you are in pain. But while experiencing that pain, you also include all the other sentient beings in your prayer, in your aspiration, in your dedication. By doing so, you are able to lighten the pain that you are through. uh, Because at the end of the day, pain is a perception, right? The injuries that you go through, the injuries, that is physical. The pain is something that you feel emotionally or you feel mentally. It is thing. It's based on the perception, right? Pain. Uh,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
So it depends on how strong you are. It depends on the out. It depends on how you take the pain. That will or make the pain more heavy.
Yeah.
I'll get back to it. You can just make it simple, and then I'll get back to it. So when I say pain, I'm actually referring to the word suffering in the text, but because it's much more relatable and much easier to comprehend when you use the term pain. Uh, so in any ways, suffering or pain, when you go through pain, that pain is already there, right? Uh, but when you include, for example, let's give an example of a just very simple example of a headache or a stomach ache. Let's say stomach ache. So when you go through a stomach ache, very, very painful stomach ache experience, that experience will not go away. You may have to take medicine. You may have to, distract yourself. You may have to do many things. And the pain will be there for a couple hours, couple of days. It will be there. There is no way to escape that pain. Uh, the pain will not disappear right away. But by reflecting uh, instead of thinking of the pain that you have, when you just think of the stomach pain, the only thing is my stomach pain, my stomach pain, my stomach pain. if you focus only on the pain, and you can do this the experiment by yourself. When you reflect only on the pain, you will feel as the pain is increasing, because the only thing that is in your mind, the only thing that occupies your mind is the pain. So you will feel as if the pain is increasing. Even as I said earlier, pain is perceptual. It depends on the perception that you have. So if you only focus on the pain part, then you will feel the pain more and more and more, and as if the pain is increasing like that. If you concentrate only on the pain side, only on the suffering side, only on the negative side, this is the only thing that will occupy your mind. All you the only thing that you will think of is the pain, right? Conversely, on the other hand, if you of course the pain is still there, you are not neglecting the pain, you're not ignoring the pain, the suffering, the sickness, whatever you're going through, the burden, the complications, that you're never ignoring them. Okay, you should never neglect them. You should always acknowledge them. So one of the problem is, a lot of people think, when they say don't focus on the negative, right? When you say don't focus on the negative, people tend to think always think positive and just forget the negative. That's not true. Okay, accept the negativities and then focus on the positive. That's the idea. So in any case, accepting the um, the downfalls, accepting the pain, accepting the suffering, accepting all the challenges is very important. And by accepting the challenges, what you now do is, you, instead of focusing on the pain as, oh, my pain, my stomach, my like, just like that, you actually twist your mind to think of the pain of all the sentient beings. All the sentient beings, let's just think about 7 billion human beings, okay? Not all the sentient beings, but just 7 billion human beings. If you think like your stomach problem actually takes in all the suffering, all the pain of the 7 billion human beings. Now, if you reflect on that, there is a positive side. Because even though you are in a very painful state, you are actually able to uh, alleviate the suffering of so many people. And when you reflect on that part, the part where you are able to alleviate the suffering of so many people, your own pain, which you acknowledge but not focusing on, all right? You acknowledge the pain that you have, you acknowledge the suffering that you go through, but instead of focusing on that, focus on alleviating the suffering of all other 7 billion human beings by going through the pain that you already are. By doing so, there is a positive, there is the outlook changes, the outlook, the view changes, and by therefore, your own pain will certainly lighten up. Because pain at the end of the day is it's a perceptual thing. How you perceive increases or decreases the pain that you go through. Yeah. So this is something that I used to do myself when I go through different sicknesses and things like that. Because the sickness is already there. If I get sick with cold or with fever, I'm going to be sick for a couple of days, or at least 1 or 2 days. There's no way out of it. So when I'm going through that pain, especially when I'm going through a very severe stomach ache, then I think of this as I'm going through this pain. Uh, I used to do this practice like when I was very small, maybe like 15, like 14, like that. I found out that sort of instruction in a Bodhicitta training booklet, and then I applied that book. I applied that method, and it was very helpful for me. And the reason I did practice this was for selfish reasons, not for selfless reasons, but for selfish reasons, because when I go through very severe pain, when I was younger, much younger, I go through a lot of severe stomach pain. And then when I go through a severe stomach pain, then I think that the pain I'm going through, the stomach ache, is actually I'm taking the pain of all the sentient beings. So when I focus only on the pain that I have, my stomach ache itself, then the pain is unbearable. I have to like I cry in pain. But when I focus on the fact that I am taking the pain of all the sentient beings into this pain that I'm already experiencing, then my pain lightens up. It lights up. It goes. It decreases. Of course, it's not easy. So I begin by taking the pain of my loved ones, like, such as my family and friends, and then gradually I spread it over to people that are non-friends, right? We call or the strangers, not non-friends. Then I also apply it on people whom I dislike, and it is a very challenging. But then, of course, it's also alleviates the suffering that you go through as well. So, of course, as a bodhicitta practitioner, you're not training this on you're not training on this considering others more important than oneself. You're not training in this for the sake of selfish reasons. When I was when I was in my teen, I used to practice this as a selfish reason, but that is not what you should be doing. But in any case, by focusing on such a by doing so, your pain will decrease certainly. Mm. And then this is not something made up, okay? So if you that taking others' pain and giving your joy to others, it's not something made up. It's not something that just some philosophical or some people think like, oh, it's just a religious or think that people just imagine everything, not physical, not real. Absolutely not like that. And I give you one example. I tell you why. When you see that actually can happen. For example, when you watch something very graphic, very depressing. Let's say you are watching, for example, when you go through the street and you see a very, very, very poor, let's say a beggar who is very sick, who is writhing in pain, lying down there. You feel the pain. You cannot like stand it. Uh, or sometimes like when you see a video of some of the, let's say, okay, let's say a very depressing video of children beating their elderly parents, or the other way around. Some people basically abusing other people, be it men, women. When you see social injustice, when you see a lot of these things, your mind is totally depressed. You feel the pain, even though you are not the person who is going through that. When you see picture of people going through much, much, much a devastating fate of suffering, you actually could feel the pain. That is what the, when you feel the pain, you are actually taking that pain. If you can take the pain, you can also give the joy too.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, one more. If let's say, okay, some of us may be very cold-hearted and don't feel the pain of others. You may not feel the pain of strangers, people who are not known to you. But let's say your children or your loved ones, if they when they are getting sick, how you feel? You feel totally at lost, even though you are not sick at all. You are so well and healthy and everything. When you hear the news of your friend passing away, when you hear, uh, right, when you receive the text message from your friend saying, "Oh, your other best friend has passed away." When these things happen, even though you are still well alive and healthy and all that, you feel all the pain. You take all the pain. So that is very much reasonable, very much logical. So it's not something imaginary. So if you can take the pain, then you can very much give the joy as well. So for that reason, taking the pain and giving the joy is not a imaginative uh, you know, um, uh, uh, saying from the old text. It's very, very, very practical training. One more example, okay? Because examples give you some insight into what I'm talking about. It makes it more clear. For when you watch as I said, a clip or a video of someone beating a very poor stray dog, common mongrel, beating a dog. Or for that, you feel the pain. And when you watch uh, war documentaries, you feel if it's related to your own country, you feel sometimes patriotic. Or you feel devastated. You feel pain. even though it happened, 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 80, 90 years ago, you still feel the pain, even though you are not part of, you are not in that video. You are not the one who was the direct recipient of that pain. You still feel the pain when you watch uh, like that, and when you watch very tragic videos, tragic clips, you always feel the pain. So feeling the pain. Sometimes when you watch a movie, right? Even though it's all fiction, not it's all made up, it's all fiction and not real. You still feel the pain when you watch a very sorrowful movie. At the end of the when the movie ends, you are all tearing up, right? You're crying, even though it's imaginative and not real. You still can feel the pain. So for that, that's the reason pain is perceptual. It's based on the perception how you take it. So for that reason, these practices, once again, I would like to highlight, these practices are not just something illusionary or just some imaginary things, but actually very real, very practical to take the pain of others and to give joy to others. Once again, when I say pain, I'm referring to suffering in general. I'm not saying physical pains are not real, okay? Physical pains are real pain. So this is just a metaphor. In any case, now we will go get back to the text. There was the story of one master, Maitri Yogi. Maitri Yogi is one of the teacher of Master Atisha. Atisha, the great Master Atisha. So when he was giving the Dharma teaching, someone outside threw a stone at the dog, and the dog was, very much hurt. And the master was giving Maitri Yogi, he was giving a teaching, and while he was giving teaching, he cried out in pain, such a pain. And then people who was listening to the teaching, they wondered what happened. Maybe the teacher was having some sickness. Maybe he was in some he was at some there was some physical thing that happened to him, physical pain inflicted to or him or something. So they have no idea what happened. But what actually was happening is because Maitri Yogi, who is clairvoyant, meaning who can see other people's mind and emotions, he could actually feel the pain of the dog who was pelted with the stone. And so while giving the teaching, uh, uh, when he what's that? When he knew, when he saw the dog being hit with the stick, he could feel the pain, and then he cried. Another great master by the name of Master Dhammarakshita. Dharma is in the spiritual practice or the doctrine of the Buddha. The doctrine is Dharma, and Rakshita means the one who protects. So his name is Dhammarakshita, the one who protects the Dharma. So Master Dhammarakshita is again a very a great Pandita, master practitioner, yogi, and all that. So when he started out as in the spiritual world, he didn't jump right. He didn't encounter the great vehicle or the Mahayana vehicle right away. He actually came through different vehicles. The one called the Shavaka, the Shavaka vehicle of the Vaibhashika school. Basically, these are considered lower schools, schools lower than the Mahayana. Anyway, so he encountered those texts, but then because he has such a strong imprint, such a strong karmic connection with the Mahayana teachings, when he even though he has not yet uh, intellectually embraced Mahayana teaching, he was going through the Shavaka teachings, and during so, he heard that someone is very sick in his region, his place, and that there was nobody can cure that person, and the doctor or the person who is trying to, the physician who is trying to heal that person said that the only solution is that he would need the sick person would need to have human flesh. If he has human flesh, then he will get better. And then when Master Dhammarakshita heard that, without any hesitation, even though he's not a Bodhicitta practitioner yet, even though he's not embraced the great vehicle of Mahayana yet, uh, because his inclination is towards the great vehicle of the Bodhisattva vehicle of the Mahayana vehicle, he he took his pocket knife and cut his flesh from his thigh and then sent it to the person who is sick, even though that person is not related to him at all. And then he offered, and then that sick person was healed. Oh yeah. So that's one story like that. Yeah. And then it says that because at that time he's not encountered or embraced the great vehicle, which teaches the deep meaning of the profundity of emptiness. Okay, the teaching of emptiness, shunyata. Because he has not embraced the great vehicle, he has not learned about emptiness. So but still, usually we go with the two things, right? One is the compassion, one is the emptiness, and the wisdom of emptiness, and the kind heart of compassion, right? The bodhicitta, yeah, the compassion of bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness. So these two go hand in hand. So here he has not embraced the great vehicle, so he has not understood the emptiness, but he actually has a strong inclination towards the bodhicitta. Okay, so because he has not understood emptiness, because he has not studied emptiness, he has not embraced the ideology of emptiness, and he has not realized emptiness. So he could feel much pain. The pain is unbearable, but because his compassion is so strong, because his bodhicitta, compassionate bodhicitta, is so strong, it was able to overcome the pain that he go through. But had he had recognition or realization of emptiness, then the pain would be much lighter. Yes. Because he didn't realize emptiness, his pain was very strong. Even though his compassion was very strong, so it was able to overcome his fear of losing his flesh and body and all that. But the pain was still very much true and there. Uh, so with much pain, he went to sleep. And when he went to sleep, he could not sleep. And finally, with much struggle, with much exhaustion, out of exhaustion, he fell into a light sleep. And when he went to sleep, he had a dream. And in that dream, there was a white man, the person who is all white, very fair, and totally dressed in white clothes and all that. And he said, whoever wants to attain enlightenment, whoever wants to become a Buddha, must go through all sort of trials and errors, trials just like you did. Well done, well done. This is the trial that one should go through if you want to attain enlightenment. And then that man, that white man, the fair, the white person, he spat on the wound and he rubbed the wound like that. And when he woke up from the sleep, from that dream, that pain has gone, the wound has gone, everything is gone. And then Dhammarakshita, not only that, he was actually able to uh, recite the 5 treatises on the middle way by Master Nagarjuna. So this is something that he has never embraced, never seen before, but he could actually, when he woke up, sometimes when you have dream, you are able to have dreams of something, some books or some stories or some pictures that you have never seen in physical life. And you could actually recite some poems. Sometimes we have dreams when we wake up, we could remember some very nice uh, poems or things like that. So sometimes very wise reflection on our life like that, right? So the Dhammarakshita also has a similar experience, and it happens to the person who is all totally draped in white happens to be none other than the great compassionate Buddha Chenrezig. Another story is that of the one of the previous lives of Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, when he was the king, a very kind and generous king. His name is Padma at that time. So the king there was a calamity, there was a disease in the whole country, whole kingdom, and everybody fell sick. And then through checking out with the doctors and everybody, everything, with the astrologers and everything, they found the king found out that the only resolution to that sickness was eating a certain kind of fish called the Rohita fish, which happens to be rare and not common in that region at that time. So what King Padma did was he prayed to the gods and to the triple gem. He did his prostrations, did the purification, did the confession, and then he said to the triple gem that may I become the flesh of the Rohita fish to be given to all the people who are sick. And then all of them be relieved from this terrible disease and pain. And then he went to the cliff and jumped from the cliff, and he died. And when he died, he was born as the Rohita fish in that river in the same land, and that fish can actually speak human language. And then the fish was crying that everybody who is sick, come, eat me, like that. And then the people, I'm a Rohita fish, I'm your savior. You can, you can get healed for me. So basically, the people start to bring the fish up, and they start cutting the flesh. So when you cut the right side of the flesh, and eat, and the other people start to cut the left side. When you cut the left side, the right side heals back, and when you cut the right side, the left side heals back and forth. So basically, the whole kingdom was healed through this process. And then King Padma, the fish, the Rohita fish, said, "I am none other than your king." And now, because you are healed, you must abstain from doing the evil things, and you must promote the virtuous activities. And by doing so, all the subject of that kingdom were able to be alleviated from being born in the lower realms. There's another story, again, of the Lord Buddha in a very in the very ancient time. So again, another one of his previous lives, he was a giant turtle, very big turtle. And then there was in the ocean there was a shipwreck, and about all the people in the ship were suffering. They were able to be drowned, and that big tortoise, big turtle, which is one of the previous lives of the Buddha, he brought all the people to the shore, to the land, and he saved them. And when he got there, he was so tired, and he was resting there. Um, the turtle was resting, and while he was resting, about 80,000 different kind of flies came swarming around him. So those flies were swarming around him and resting on him and just like staying there. And then when the turtle, when he woke up from his rest, he found out all those turtles are there. He was resting by lying down, and so all the flies were on his body. So when he woke up, he saw all the flies there, and if he is to move back to his form, if he turns himself to walk back to the ocean, then all those flies would die. So, without not wanting to disturb and harm those flies, he actually stayed like this um, until he forever. So basically, the turtle died there without turning his body um, properly. He was sitting upside down like that. So later it happened. This is one of the kind act of the Buddha in his previous lives. So there is something called in the Buddha's lifetime, a Buddha's life, there was something called uh, 500 pure lives and the 500 impure lives. So what that basically means is after, of course, we have millions of thousands of previous lives, right? There is no beginning to the life. So what it means by saying 1,000 lives is after committing oneself to bodhicitta, after generating the bodhicitta for the very first time, then every time you take every life that you have, every birth that you have had, right, is considered as this life. So when after Shakyamuni, he became a bodhisattva, there was 500 pure lives and 500 impure lives. Basically, what that means, pure life means being born as a king with wealthy, with wisdom, like that. Impure means being as a poor person, being as a born as an animal, being born as an insect, like that. So this total was one of his impure lives, and he saved so many fishermen that time, so many sailors at that time, hundreds of sailors at that time, and also he saved those 80,000 flies. By doing so, later on, when he was giving the Dharma talk in Varanasi, those 80,000 flies were born, attended the Buddha's teaching as angels. So
Yeah.
basically, these are instances of exchanging one's happiness, taking others' pain, and giving one's joy, like that. Yeah. So there are many other stories like this in the book. If you can maybe read that later. Basically, as I said earlier, I gave two sort of perceptions, two things to look at. One is the um, um, to look at it from the historical point of view, like what the Buddha did, what Dhammarakshita did, what Atisha did, Maitreya Yogi did, this and this from the historical point of view. If that helps you, you reflect on that part. If you are more of a practical sort of, very current, you are more concerned with, okay, you don't care about what happened in the history in the past. You want to focus more on what's going on right now. Then you can use the examples that I used as I gave earlier about reflecting on your own pain, how much, for example, when the your own loved ones, your friends, when you receive the bad news of something regarding to your friend, or something regarding your um your friend and people whom you love, how you feel, how you react to that, when you feel the cats and dogs being brutally beaten up, or kids being abused, elderly being abused, this and that. What goes in your mind, what goes in your heart. So when you think of all these things, you don't really have to go all the way to history. There are living examples of how we can exchange pain with joy. So
Yeah.
by reflecting on this, we can and we will train on the exchanging one's joy with others' pain. Oh yeah. If you have questions now, it's time for Q&A. So no question is
Rinpoche La. Yeah, we have one question, Rinpoche La.
sure.
Rinpoche La, when there's someone in our family, in our relation, a very close family, they are going to die. They're going to die, and what we should do when we look at the moment they are very sick and they are dying, they are in the very last day of their life. What should we do to help them to overcome that painful? What can we do? What can we contemplate when they are dying in their very last moment in their life?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a very, very good question. Very important question. Uh, this death is something that we all must go through, right? And so therefore, it's something that all of us must embrace. And then it is the most crucial time as well. It is the most crucial. And then at the time of death, we are the weakest. But when we go through death, we are very weak. Only very few people are, strong when they pass away. So what we can do for the people who are going through this stage is what we can do is we can show them the light, show them the path to the Dharma, to show them the path to the Amitabha's land, so forth. And of course, when someone passes away, we do prayers and everything for them. That's good. But then it's like it's like eating their food, um, eating the food for them. Okay. If
Yeah.
someone is sick, you cannot eat their food, right? You cannot eat the food for them. If someone is sick, you cannot take someone's medicine for them. The
Yeah.
person who is sick has to take his own medicine, take his own food, etc. So the best moment is to do this at the time of death, before he die or she die. The best moment. What we must do, there are certain things. Yeah, I will explain. So the most important thing is to make the person who is dying realize that this is not the end. The death is not the end. Uh, uh, even that person cannot realize, it's also okay. You just make them realize that. You just let them know that death is not the end. Death is a transition. Okay, that is the first thing. So transitioning into what? What is next there? And some people are afraid because the death is the end. There's no more birth, nothing. Everything ends now. Whatever I have, my family, my wealth, my property, my name, everything now. I'm detached from that, and they feel sad. And some people, even though they believe in afterlife, they're still, even though they realize that the transition, they're still afraid because of what they have done in this life. Things may not turn well in the next life, so you are afraid. So in both cases, people get so scared that there is nothing after this. You get scared, and people get scared because there is something. So you either get scared by the fact that there is nothing, or there is something very scary thing after the death. So people usually get very scared at the time of death. So the first thing is to make them calm down. So there are two types of people: one who believe in the Dharma or the faith, and who don't believe. Okay, so those who believe in the faith, make them aware of the Buddha's teaching, play some Dharma sound like Dharma music, mantras, especially if you can share the teachings on the qualities or the benefits of being born in the Amitabha land. The teachings of some masters. Just play it there, very smooth voice, talking about the benefit of being born in the Amitabha land, etc., or the practice of bodhicitta, etc. So if he can hear that thing, then that person can reflect on that. Even though he's not very strong, he can reflect on that. That will actually lead his mind because he's very weak physically and mentally. So leading his mind to the positive, virtuous bodhicitta, bodhisattva's path is crucial. Okay, so this is for people who have faith in the Dharma. I make a correction. People who believe in the Dharma, not believe Dharma is same. Okay, one side. Then there are people who hate Dharma. Okay, there, I make two categories. One who believe, not believe in Dharma. That's okay. One category is same. You can give this kind of talk, and then they will actually be alleviated. Uh, then those who hate Dharma, who really don't have faith in Dharma, if they listen to mantras or teachings, they really feel very irritated. Okay, there are many people like that. So in this case, what you have to tell them is, because at the end of the day, you need to have a very positive mindset at the time of transition, meaning death. Okay, so it's important to tell them that they have done well, everything is going well. Basically, that they don't have to worry about these things. Uh, they have accomplished well, and whatever has remained, whatever they feel incomplete, if there is any incomplete task, let them believe, tell them that this can be sorted out soon. You don't have to worry about this and that. So basically, give them the teaching of, basically, let them be aware of letting go. Because at the time of, because death is a transition, basically, it's a journey that you are taking. So, for example, when there's a very big, let's say when you are able to go for a journey, and then something very disastrous happens to your family or your organization, you will not be able to go because you are now stuck here. And by letting the person believe that things are going to smoothen out, things are going to be well, then that person can feel relief, can feel uh, unburdened, and actually can make the journey with a with a positive mindset, with the energetic and mindset, a positive attitude. That will actually help the person have a smooth transition into the afterlife. It will
Yeah.
help them to have a better life. No? So I think there's another question. The second question, right, is about when you take the other person's pain, you also feel so much pain, and then how to deal with that. That is the other another question I saw in the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will answer that one. Most importantly, the pain that you feel when you actually go through pain, I mean, go through turmoil yourself, that is it's a selfish pain. And when you take the other people's pain, then the kind of the suffering that you when you take other people's suffering, the pain you go through, even though it's the same pain, but your outlook on it or it the difference is the effect of the pain. Okay, the pain is same, but the effect of the pain is different. So when you go through selfish pain, the effect is it actually demotivates you. When you go through other people's pain, when you take other people's pain and when you take other people's suffering, the pain that you go through is actually motivating. If you think carefully, that will actually help motivate you, inspire you to do something for that person. So for that reason, in the Dharma Sutras, we usually don't advise people to get rid of that pain. Okay, when you take the other people's suffering and then you go through pain, we actually don't. We actually encourage oneself to be remain in that pain as long as one can, so that you can take by remaining in that pain is like a fire which burns because fire burns different things. This by remaining in the pain of taking by remaining in the pain of taking other people's suffering will actually extinguish your own karmic flames. So whatever negative karma that you have accumulated for so many years, karmic seeds that you have accumulated for so many years, eons and eons of countless lifetimes, that those karmic seeds will be burned off by the pain of taking other people's suffering. So if you look at it that way, that can be inspiring and motivating. Okay, so now thank you so much, all of you, for your kind attention. And I will conclude today's teaching here. Next week's teaching will be on the 6 perfections, starting with generosity.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche La. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. And let's do the dedication. Yeah.
Bây giờ chúng ta sẽ cùng thầy để hồi hướng công đức ạ.
Chanjo, semjo, rinpoche, maje, panama, ke, gyoroji. Yewa nyamba me bara yang kone kondo pe bara sho gewa ndi nyordo da lama sangye drobyo ne drowa che kyang ma lu ba ge ge sa la nge bara sho chanjo sem this wasn't done now done next one
Yeah.
next page
Bây giờ
Exema. Mi
vâng.
oenze vedere jin jine jisi chi me kembe oin boin jambe oi ma lu joma je sai we oi na Oin jin gebe Zoin ge zoin gaim Lobai zoin jaim be shai lai soi waitim Lobai zoin jai be shai lai soi waitim Okay, next. Dembe Nyingbo, Zembe Benga Jin Naman Do Yu Gun La Changju, Lobsan Chue Nyamzu Chogu, Tenge Joden Nambara Sowa De. And dedication in Vietnamese.